And we are live. We are back for another show. Good morning out there. Good morning, everyone. So I'm super excited to be back for another episode of Coffee with Rhonda, where, we are a group of coaches and thought leaders that get together and we really just have a conversation about the successes and challenges of being a person, a woman, and a leader in today's world. So we're really, really excited. Before we get started, I want to tell you first what our topic for today's show will be. We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that everybody is at home. Everybody is at home. And so what does that mean for the changing dynamics of the household, of getting your work done, and all of those wonderful things? So before we introduce our co-hosts and our guests, I want you, if you're out there, to remember, tell us your name, tell us where you're watching from, and be sure that you tell us what's in your cup. Also, let me just touch on that just a little bit. We talked about what's in your cup and we talked about what we're drinking and having this morning or this evening, wherever you might be, but it's also a metaphorical thing, right? So metaphorically speaking, what's in your cup? What's in your life? What's in your hand? What do you have that you're holding on to? So think metaphorically about that also. So in addition to telling us your name, where you're watching from, we want you to comment and share on the video. Anything that resonates with you, comment. If you feel like it's valuable content, please share it with others. We look forward to having the conversation with you. If you should be on YouTube right now, if you're watching us, but if you're not, we are broadcasting live on coffeewithrhondashow.com. That's directly on YouTube. And if you happen to go there, don't forget to like. So let's get into things now. My name is Rhonda Y. Williams, and I am your host for the show. And I am an emotional intelligence strategist and leadership coach. And what I do is I help leaders shift from overwhelmed to overjoyed, from stuck to unstuck, so that they can create an amazing leadership and personal life that they love and deserve. That's who I am, and that's what I do. So let's now go and introduce the wonderful, the rest of our amazing folks. We're going to save our guests for last today. I like to switch it up a little bit. Guests never know when they're going to come into things. So, all right, let's start with you. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Another day in paradise with Coffee with Rhonda, and so I'm really happy to be back here. My name is Mireille. I'm the CEO of MT Energy Resources. So I have a background in oil and gas, but I'm also a coach. So I founded Mireille Tilekima Global Leadership Organization to empower individuals to step into their greatness and become the best that they can be. So that's me, and I'm really looking forward to have this discussion with you today.
Wonderful. I love that you're a greatness engineer. I think that's very cool. We can all engineer our greatness. Thanks so much.
Yes.
So, what do you have in your cup?
So in my cup, I have hot chocolate today, and so it's going to be very good before going to bed today.
That's awesome, because you are it's not daytime for you, and I forgot to tell you all what's in my cup. I have one of my favorite cups today, Boss Lady, and in the inside it actually says, "I'm not bossy, I am the boss." So
okay, all right, good.
I like that.
Yes, and I have strawberry kiwi green tea today.
Whoa.
I decided to switch it up a little bit, and it is absolutely delicious. So, Miss Roz, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Roz Jones. I'm coming to you from the Sunshine State of Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. And for those who are not familiar with me, I'm Roz Jones, the CEO and owner of Jacksonville Caregivers, where we provide 4 levels of specialized care to your loved one: sitter, homemaker companion, home health aide, and certified nursing assistant. When you can't do it all, you give us a call.
That's great. Thank you, Roz. And what do you have in your cup?
Oh, I have peppermint tea and honey.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Peppermint tea and honey. I love that. Peppermint tea. I've never tried peppermint tea. I'm going to have to try that, Roz.
The only other thing I need with this is my Coffee with Rhonda shirt. That's all I need.
And you shall have it. I would be remiss if I didn't get you your coffee with Rhonda shirt. So trust me, it is coming. So that's awesome. So we're gonna now go and we want to introduce our guests. We've got a special guest joining us today, Miss Mariska. Good morning to you, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm so grateful and excited to be there with you guys, with women leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs. I am myself an entrepreneur, so I live in France, in the southeast of France, in a beautiful region called Haute-Savoie. So it's the Alps, if you know those mountains. It's beautiful here and it's sunny outside. So I'm Mariska Harel. I'm a certified life coach. And basically what I do is I empower women, but I'm specialized. What is specific about me is that I'm specialized in bringing women to navigate into transition, life stages transition and manage change.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And welcome again. And do you have a cup? And what's in your cup?
Yeah, I have my cup and I have ginger in it because we need in those time of trouble to spice it up a little bit.
Wow.
Absolutely. So everybody just grab your cup for a second and hold it up so that I can get a good picture. And this will be our post-production picture at the end of the show. Awesome. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thanks. So let's get into our conversation for today. And, last week we had an amazing conversation about caring for ourselves and each other during this COVID crisis and everything that's happening around us. So today, we're going to talk about it in a little bit of a different respect. We know that in many countries, many cities, many areas, people are being required to stay at home. Many people are working from home. You've got college students at home taking their classes at home. You've got regular students and the teachers are online using Zoom platforms and teaching from home. And then you've got the little ones who used to be in daycare. Many of them are now at home. And so it's sort of changed the game a little bit. You've got this entirely different dynamic. Now, for me, I work from home anyway. And so that part is not different. What is different for me is everybody else is at home. Everybody's at home. And so we're going to talk today. We're going to talk about the fact that this has changed the dynamic. And we're going to talk about the fact that now that everybody's home, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and then just the fun. What's fun about everybody being at home? So let's sort of start with, something that I've been noticing and seeing and talking about the good for me. Anyway, is I'm getting out more and I'm walking more. So I travel a lot. When I'm not at home working, I do a lot of traveling. And guess what? My backside has been plastered to this chair. And so I am not traveling. I am not going anywhere. And as a result, I find the need to, I have to intentionally get up and move. And so I go out daily for a nice long walk. But you know what I've seen? I've seen entire families out walking. It's the mom, the dad, the son, the daughter, the little baby in the stroller, the dog. Everybody is out walking. For some reason, that has been really resonating with me. I found that to be a very good thing. I mean, normally you see people out walking alone, or maybe they have one person, but to see entire families walking together. The other thing that I'll just touch on, which is really interesting, is in the area where I live and I go walking, people have been being really respectful of each other, right? So when you come across a big group, someone will cross the street or someone will step aside a little bit just so that you're not, getting too close and you're maintaining that social distancing. So that is definitely one good thing that I've seen that's come out of being at home. I think the other thing for me, the other good thing that has come out of everybody being at home is that we're all super aware of everybody's schedules, right? Who's doing what? at what time, what's happening, so, we're all mindful that, okay, mom's probably on the call, so I probably should not be playing music super loud or, doing some of the things I might normally do. And everybody's mindful of everything happening. So that's some of the good. What's some of the good that you ladies are seeing as a result of everybody being at home? It's a very different dynamic. And maybe in your world or your life, there's no difference, but it's definitely a difference for me. So, Marae, what are you seeing?
I mean, for me, it's been, there's been a change. I've been working at home for a month now because I hurt myself, my foot. So I used to travel quite a lot. So I had this few months to prepare myself to work from home. So it's not a big change for me. The big change, like you said, is not everybody's at home. Husband, children, and it's quite difficult. For example, my daughter, she's 17. She's taking a course at home, and she's been using the room that I use normally to do all my work. So we had to readjust all of this, which means that I had to change my schedule, and I have to really, reorganize, because as you know, at this age, they think that they are the priority. So there's no way to actually negotiate with them. So I had to basically say, okay, I'm the one who's got to really work things around and accommodate that part. And I have another daughter. She's 21. She's at uni. Normally, she's not really a lot at home. She's either at uni or doing all kind of things and going to parties or working a job. But now she's not at home all the time, and she's very noisy. So it's sometimes very difficult. You hear the music completely, So I've been screaming quite a lot at the beginning, but I think now we've managed to have, some understanding to know, okay, we have to respect each other and organize ourselves as a family. And my husband has been very kind now that this is at home. He's cooking quite a lot. So it's a lot of, for me, it's kind of a break on cooking and enjoying somebody else, food. So it's been really good on that side.
That is awesome. It's so interesting that it just doesn't, there's some kinks in the beginning, right? You've got to kind of get over the hump a little bit. If you're going to make this shift and do it in a way that everybody maintains their sanity, right? We all have to come out of this sane. So, Kristen, I'm going to come to you. Has anything changed for you with everybody working from home?
Yeah, definitely. I forgot to mention that I'm an English teacher as well, in parallel of being a coach. So I'm teaching online with my students, and so my husband is staying at home as well. So he basically, what he does, he goes into all the restaurants and hotels and banks to fix all the devices, all the material, the camera, the automatic machine where you withdraw money from. I have a daughter, she's 17, and I have a boy, he is 13. So we all have a world. And basically what the challenge was to, like you said, Mihai, was to, intricate all the schedules together and be mindful of the other. For example, my son, he likes music and he likes it loud and he likes to sing while he's in the bathroom. And it's so funny. It's so funny. And also, when my children are online with their own teachers, sometimes we just forget about that and we're laughing. And yesterday it happened. And my son went she shouted out, "Hey guys, I'm on the phone. I'm online." So there were a little kicks at the beginning, and then we had to, move along with everyone else's rhythm, respect everyone else's schedule, and find out our places. That was funny.
That's hilarious because I have that too. Every now and again you'll hear something. I'll have to put myself on mute, and I'm like, shh, shh. I'm hoping that they can hear me right now. I'm trying not to look crazy on the video that I'm on. I'm going, shh. So,
and that's the thing. I had to change some of because I've been doing some masterclass on one of my group. I actually had to change that because they're so noisy at the time that I've chose now, because they're all at home and screaming and watching whatever it is. I said, okay, I'm going to move it. And then there's not a noise actually coming in when I'm doing my class.
Oh my goodness. I know. Roz, anything changed for you since you're, with this whole everybody stay at home thing?
It's been wonderful for those of us that have to do caregiving and traveling. My travel time has been cut in half. Where it normally takes me an hour to get to commute. I got there in 30 minutes. It scared me. I'm like, okay, I'm here early. So the good thing is that I get there early, so I'm not as stressed when I go into the client, because a lot of times with traffic, you're pushing and you're waiting. If an accident happens, your time is messed up. You try to leave early enough, but sometimes things happen and it's still not enough time. Now I enjoy my ride in the morning, or when I'm going from client to client, and it makes a difference when I'm giving service. That's a good thing. The next thing is I'm saving on gas, where it would take me sometimes 2.5, 3 tanks of gas. I'm only using 1 tank of gas.
Oh, wow.
I mean, a huge money difference in that. And then the next difference is that I have to stay out of the fast food restaurants, because some of the lines are so long for those people who are necessary to travel. We're all traveling around, in the same, either those same 8-hour periods or 12-hour periods. So the lines are long still because you can't go in. So I've cut out my fast food, which has also saved me money. So what I've done is I've taken that money and I started putting it up in the savings account. And when I tell you, in the last 2 weeks, I've saved over $500. I'm like, I didn't realize I was wasting so much money.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's really interesting. So you're really saving a lot, Roz, between gas and everything else. This is a period. So that's definitely a positive happening, just because more people are at home.
Yeah. Definitely. I think the gas thing is you see the difference, because I mean, we drive quite a lot, picking up children, bringing my daughter to sport, whatever it is. And now, I mean, none of this is happening. We're just going for grocery and then come back. So
and it helps with the gas.
My stress levels have gone down. My anxiety when it's driving. I mean, I didn't realize how stressed I was when I was driving until after the first 3 days. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not rushing. I'm okay. I feel better about myself. I actually have time to plan my meals, to get everything ready for the entire week. It's huge. So I don't want this. I hate to say this is the new norm. I don't want it to be the new norm. Because then on the other side, for healthcare, for my elderly patients, it's an impact that's good and bad. And for the good side is that families are writing to their loved ones now, which is good. So handwriting has really kind of it's like a white horse. You don't see it often, but now they are writing to their loved ones. So, and when they get these letters, you want to see their faces, how they light up. So if anyone is under the sound of my voice, you have someone in a nursing home or at home, go to the dollar store and get some cards and just mail one once a week.
Right.
That's different.
Awesome.
That makes a difference.
That's so awesome, Roz, because these are things that when we are really busy, we don't really think about, we don't have time for. I am finding that I am doing more things that just feel good. It's more
Exactly.
relaxed. I'm sort of flowing into things a little bit more instead of this constant need and feeling like I have to be somewhere or I have to do something constantly, right? And to your point about, driving, I don't drive a lot anyway because I usually am home all day and I get everything delivered anyway. So that part for me is not new because I'm really spoiled. Let me just tell you guys that. And I will get my groceries delivered in a second and everything I can. I'm like, oh, just deliver it. I mean, how many hours? How much money is that if I'm spending hours out? Anyway, so what I was thinking about is when I do go out, it feels a little eerie to me. It feels a little eerie because there's not very many people on the roads, and I never have to wait to take a left turn. I used to have I would always go, oh, you don't want to make a left turn here. It's a really busy street. Now I'm just like, oh, right. I don't have to wait for anything. It's really interesting. Now, Renice is out there, and Renice says, I think there are some opportunities or good things behind this situation. And you know what, Renice? I think that's absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Bad, but there are some really good things that are going to come out of this situation. And then Lisa is out there. Lisa says, hi, this is very interesting. Thanks so much for joining, ladies. This is great to have you on. We're simply having a conversation. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Coffee with Rhonda, where we are coaches, thought leaders, people who like to get together and have everyday conversations about the situations facing us in life. How do we succeed through those? How do we navigate through those successfully? So we are today talking about this new stay-at-home dynamic where everybody is at home. And I will tell you one thing that I am seeing. I feel like somebody is always cooking. Like I am always smelling some good food. I am on this thing where I'm doing the once a day eating. And so I don't want to think about food until it's time for me to have my meal. All day long, I am smelling something delicious. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, somebody's cooking again. And I'm like, oh, I just want a little bit. And I'm like, no, maintain discipline. So that is another thing that I've seen. I feel like somebody is always cooking something and it always looks and smells delicious. And I want some of it. So that's definitely one of the other things. But are you guys seeing that you're having an opportunity to just sort of midday, just sort of sit with the family for a few minutes, take a little break, right? Are you all seeing that too?
Yeah, there's definitely more interaction with the family. There's a lot of dynamics. We're planning things together. We're watching, comedies together. We discuss, having some, good discussion as well, sitting, at the table, things that we don't normally do because I travel, my husband travel as well a lot. So it's good to have everybody back and really, think as a family and plan as a family. It was very chaotic at the beginning, but now with kind of a fusion and we're all going in the same direction, which is beautiful.
Absolutely. And Marissa, you were going to add to that also.
Absolutely. This is so relevant, what you just said, Mireille. We are learning to come back together, to think together, and to have the same vision. As if in this fast-paced society, we're all running into directions, and this is a kind of pause that is offered to us, an opportunity to think together, to think global, and to see, okay, where is our family going? What can we do together? This is one thing that we usually do. We get together. We're used to that. But I think that this crisis has amplified this movement in my family. It is as much as we cook together, we talk together more, we play cards, we listen to music together while cooking. We will choose it and say, okay, I want this music. Oh, what do you want? Okay, let's do this. Let's put this music on. And it's a dynamic that has been amplified, and it's so good. Yeah, it feels so good. We're coming back together, and I think we're gonna get out of this crisis more aware of each other, more aware of the vision that we have in terms of family, and also individualistic, because we also need to have those pause, just
Yeah.
a me time. We also allow ourselves to in a room. We have a house that is, we have a lot of space, so we can go in our rooms, we can go in the dining room, we can go in the basement or in the garden, so we have space, and that leaves us space to think, to ponder over the situation and get the best out of it.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that, because if we are really paying attention to the little things, then we're seeing those things happen each and every day. And I feel that the opportunities for families in terms of really coming together, like you said, and really becoming aware of each other, coordinating. I tend to, I do like many coaching sessions with my sons, right? Half the time they don't even know it. So when I see them all gathering, I'm like, oh, this is a great opportunity. So, and I'll start talking finances, right? So finance 101, where are you shopping? So I'm going to share this because I want to share it with all of our listeners. I've been doing posts called Wealth Wednesdays. And it's really about just thinking about how you're managing your finances. How are you building wealth? Generational wealth that is going to go, last for many, many years. And so this past week I said, so where are you getting free? How are you using free money resources? And people are like, free money, right? Free money. There's no free money. No, there actually is free money, and it's out there, and we should be paying attention to it. I have literally changed my shopping habits so that I can get free money. I have literally changed places I shop from, because why should I shop at store A if I buy the exact same thing for the exact same price at store B and I'm going to get money back? It's a no-brainer. So I did this as a test last year and found that all of a sudden I had earned $100 cash back. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a thing, right? This is something I should pay attention to. So these little mini coaching sessions and opportunities to talk to my sons about where they are, what their plans are, to push them a little bit. I set targets now. So I said, okay, everybody in the household has to have this credit score. This is your minimum if you're going to stay in the household. My son said, you're just making up stuff now. My son said, okay, Mom, every other day you make up something new, right? I
have to stimulate you, your brain.
These are the opportunities. I absolutely love spending the extra time with them, sort of seeing where their heads are and just getting involved, as well as, really taking time to become aware of my own self and sort of where I'm at with things. Is anybody go ahead, Roz. I see you were going to add.
No, what I was getting ready to say was, for me, and I don't know about anybody else, the biggest thing a lot of people used to talk about is, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Now there's no excuse about time. No excuse.
I still don't have time though for certain things.
You won't run out of time. So the biggest thing that held us back from cleaning our closets, I don't have time. The biggest thing that held you back from writing a book, I don't have time. The biggest thing that held you back from cleaning out your car, I don't have time. Or, I want to lose weight, I don't have time.
Right.
You have time to walk. You have time to clean the closet. You have time to, spend time with your family, the big thing. But I know for me, the biggest thing that I didn't have time for was self-care.
Wow. Yeah.
My health was suffering, and I didn't realize how much my health was suffering until I started drinking the water. I cut back on the sugars, all of this, all because, and we talked about this in previous shows. We were talking about, overwhelmed, I'm so busy. And, I've talked about, well, then nobody set your schedule but you. You the one that packed that schedule that tight. That's your fault. So that was my fault. So now I've gone back and reassessed. Okay, biscuit head. Look at your calendar. And now, since you have this extra time, what can you do different? And the first thing I said I'm going to do different is take care of me the way I couldn't. And now, since I'm taking care of me, I see other things falling into line. So like I said, there's no more excuse. And Maxine Waters used to say, reclaim your time. You don't have to reclaim it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we're doing for the next 30 or 60 days can become habits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that. For me, I'm looking at the opportunity because my health, I see it. And a lot of people are inboxing me and say, hey, what's going on? I just feel better because I don't have, the drive stress. I'm preparing my food, my shopping, like Rhonda says, is better.
Yeah.
I'm going to the stores where it's buy one, give one free, if you get a coupon, I'm able to do some stuff that I haven't been able to do in a long time. And you know what? I'm enjoying life.
Absolutely. That is wonderful. So let's for a minute talk about a coachable moment here, Roz, because I think you just really touched on something. So if you are still at that point where you don't have time for these little things, then you are actually making a decision about what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so sometimes we, we're not exactly honest with ourselves. Sometimes I'm like,
absolutely,
I just don't have time to lose weight. When the bottom line is, I just don't want to do what it takes to lose weight. Okay. And I've been using the excuse of time. Right.
That's the answer right there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. But I think for me, it's more not having time to be lazy because just work. But now I don't really think about, I wake up in the morning, I feel really light, and I can just lie down maybe for a few minutes of things and then think about something, go outside, use my garden a little bit more, sit down and just, observe, look at all the trees and things like that, not being stressed that, I have to drive there, I have to drive this person to school, I have to buy grocery because I need to cook and things like that. So
exactly,
it's in a way, it's for me, it's having time to do nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? I can appreciate that too. I can definitely appreciate that too. And I think like for us, some of it is how we process and look at things. Like when I feel like I'm just wasting time, that doesn't feel good to me. And all of a sudden, then I feel like, you know what? You're being lazy. You're being non-productive. There's other things you should be doing. You got 80 projects on the list, right? But when I look at it and when I shift and say, this is just my reflection time, or this is my me-care, self-care time, or really my time to just have a little bit of space and personal awareness, or to visualize my goals and dreams. So a lot of what I do in terms of helping people really look forward to creating a dream life, right? And my company is called Dream Life. And people always say, well, why Dream Life? Because I need you to look bigger. I need you to think bigger. I need you to get beyond your current circumstances to know what's possible for you, hence dreaming and visualizing. And so sometimes if I just sit down and take 10 minutes to just visualize, oh my gosh, it puts me in another world. I literally transport my mind from being here to maybe I'm in France visiting Mariska or something, right? So these are the wonderful things that we do. By the way, if you're a viewer out there and you don't know, we have these two amazing ladies on the show who both speak French, and they were talking French before the show, and I'm like, listen, we're all going to sign up for a French class, okay? Because
okay.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. That's the first lesson right there. Bonjour.
Oh my God, it's pretty amazing. So our goal is to really stimulate your thinking, your conversation around what other opportunities do you ladies see that are going to come out of this time where we have that, as Mariska described it earlier, we're pressing the pause button. Just pressing the pause button. Although, and I'm going to come to you, Roz, although I will say I'm not really in pause because I'm moving. And so my pause time, a lot of it is now spent packing, unfortunately. So, all right, Roz.
I just want to add one more thing. So far as my spiritual side, I would get up in the morning and meditate and read just a scripture, one or two scriptures. Now I can read a whole chapter because I
Mm,
have time.
yeah.
My relationship with God is getting closer and deeper because I can spend more time with him, sit still and listen for his voice and feel his spirit now, because I took him off of my to-do list
Right.
and now I'm spending time with him. It's a difference when it's a to-do and when you're building a relationship. So now I'm able to build a better relation. I feel the chills on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
it's making a big difference.
different.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Next person.
Renee is out there. Renee says bonjour.
Okay, that's good. True.
Renis
Comment
is one of
allez-vous?
the friends that I invited. She's living
Ah,
in
okay.
India.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
wonderful. Thank
yeah.
Hello.
Thank you for
you.
joining, Renis.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And so, those things. So again, to Roz's point, what relationships are out there that you haven't spent time because you haven't had time, but what relationships now do you have the opportunity to build, to cultivate,
Mm,
whether they be that spiritual relationship, the relationship with maybe someone who there's a mutually beneficial, professional relationship that you can build, or a friend or a colleague or a family member who, you'd like to connect with them, but you've just simply been too busy. They've been too busy. Those are opportunities that are out there for us. Have you all taken advantage of any of those opportunities to really connect with people?
can I add something on that?
Absolutely.
Huh. Um, when those time of troubles came, I said to myself, like Ross said, God is speaking to us. There's something that we need to hear. And in those times of trouble, I was like, everything that human beings have built, systems, political, scientific, religious, social, everything is just, stumbling down. So, what is the certainty that we have? I asked myself this question, and then that verse popped up into my mind. In days of prosperity, be joyful.
Hmm.
In days of adversity, consider, think, ponder. And this is where I started my pause from. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to start thinking, pondering, because there are things that I need to remove from my life. There are habits that I need to put in place. And that first relationship that was, for me, the most important was first God. And the other just, line up. Because I put God first, then the others, he gave me insight on how to relate to my husband, how to relate to my kids, how to relate with my friends, my family, and my coworkers. New things, new habits, new ways of speaking. And for me, it's the essential. It's the basis. It's God first, and then everything else lines up.
Mhm. I
Mhm.
love that. That is very powerful. Absolutely. What about you, Marae? Are there any relationships that you've had the opportunity to really focus on and build through this time where, we're really a little bit more grounded than we normally are?
For me, it's more a moment to reconnect with myself because a few things happening last year and this year, at the beginning of this year. So it was really a time for me to reflect and, like, uh, Rose and Mariska are saying, talk to God and ask, what all those things means for me. I mean, what do I need to do
Hmm.
to reconnect with myself and really align myself with what I want to do, and with the align myself with the relationship around me, and also think about what are the good relationships that I want to keep in my life, and the one that I really want to cut. And I started to really identify
Mhm.
those people that actually bringing negativity into my life, and start to say, okay, it's time for you to find a way to stay away from this negativity
Right.
and really move along with what's positive and keep going, because you can't continue to drag those relationships, and it's been relationship with relatives and people that you always say, oh no, it's a relative, I'm not gonna do anything, but it's about time now, if I want to have peace in my life, to say, okay, that's it, and I need to find a way to move forward without them. And if they really want to continue to have a relationship, they will have to adjust, because the way they are, no, I just have to say no and condition myself to say, relative or no relative, I have to keep going, because it comes down to my own peace, and it comes down to my own, sanity as well. And it's the right time to do that.
That's great, because I think sometimes when we're moving so quickly, we just go ahead and accept those things.
Yes.
Like, those things in our life,
Mhm.
get to it
Exactly.
later. And this time that we're in right now, gosh, to be honest, I'm thinking about everything, right? I'm taking just the time to look at my life, look at my friend base, look at who's around you, look at where I want to go, what I'm trying to do, who's contributing positively to that, even if it's only mentally or emotionally, right? So it doesn't have to be giving someone something, but the support, the cheerleader. Who's that cheerleader in your life? Who is what I call the battery chargers and the battery drainers, right? You've got the battery chargers and the battery drainers in your life. And honestly, I think one opportunity in this time of pause, and maybe folks can actually hear you now, I think sometimes the battery drainers don't recognize their battery drainers, because it's hard for you to have that conversation with someone, right? So what we do is we just tend to avoid them, instead of saying, let's sit down, let's have coffee, let's talk, right? Coffee with Rhonda.
Let's just cut.
Let's have a conversation. I love you dearly, right? And it doesn't have, the other thing I think people avoid, and I think the reason they avoid it is because it feels like confrontation. But it doesn't have to be confrontation. It can simply be information. It can simply be a conversation. The last person that called me and said, well, I don't like confrontation. I said, it doesn't have to be confrontation. Let's just have a conversation, right? And so to say to that person, I know that you mean well. I know that you care about me, but here's how I feel when I'm in a conversation with you. My battery was on high when that conversation started, and it is now depleted to the point where I need to go plug in. I need to find a charge. I need to find something to now recharge me. I don't think that you are aware that you're coming across this way, and I certainly don't think that you intend to come across this way. But as your dear friend, I wanted to share this with you, because if I'm feeling this way, it might be that others are feeling this way, and I am giving you this information because I do care. Right. And then you can distance yourself. They can do what they will with that information.
Exactly.
And then if they choose not to change, or if they choose to get an attitude, or they're frustrated because you're, saying, how dare you say
that's not your problem anymore.
Then that's your time to bow out gracefully. Right.
So I mean, and that's the thing, and that's what I understood, is that some people have an expiration date. So we got to the, we've reached the expiration date. Time to get out of my life, and then I have to move on.
I like that.
You
come to expiration. That's it. No more.
Wow.
I love that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hashtag that. Some people have a hashtag expiration date, because
expiration date. I love it.
They do. They absolutely do. And I like to say that people are in your life for a reason and a season, right? And we still holding on long.
Yeah.
We're still holding on because there's something inside of us that are like, oh, I feel bad. Moving forward. So, at this point where we are actually able to breathe a little bit, to take a pause, to reflect on our lives and our friends and our families and what's around us, now's the time to decide, who is at their hashtag expiration date.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that.
But you know what though? I have been using this time to unfriend some people. I told you what I do to unfriend. As I see the birthdays come up, and if I don't recognize you, I take you off.
Oh,
that's my way of purging. So I purge every day.
wow.
Yeah.
That's so deep.
There's
That's
some
so
groups that I
powerful.
don't even participate in. I'm purging those, take that off, there's, social media purging we got to do, along with taking care of the house, taking care of the car, taking care of ourselves. We have the time. There's no excuse.
So it's really time to clutter everything, either physically or internally, really, start to create space for new things to come, positive things to come in, get rid of all the negativity around us, inside us, and really open up for, the good things that are coming.
I love that. You said clutter, and I was thinking, I was literally typing purge social clutter. Because social media and all of that can really clutter things up for you. You want to create the space in your life for all of that newness and all of those wonderful things to come in. So, in this time of, really getting ourselves prepared for what's next. And for me, I do some thinking about that too. What's next? Like, what is the other side of this? Like, as we're in the midst of this right now, what's on the other side? And I'm actually really excited about, the fact that I'm moving right in the middle of all of this, because I'm actually going to get to enjoy my new home probably a little bit more than I normally would, right? To really get some things settled in before I just hit the road and start moving about so much. So it's going to give me some time to build a relationship with my new home. And as we get settled in the new house, we'll have new dynamics as a family, to deal with and get used to. And I'm actually looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to what's next. So let's just end with a quick roundtable. What are you taking away from all of this stay at home right now? The whole world is literally on pause. What's your takeaway from this pause period? And what are you looking forward to ahead? And I know I just sort of threw that question out there as a nice way for us to wrap up and share with, those that are out there. But, who would anybody like to go first? Or if you've got your thoughts about, what are you taking away from this time of pause? And then what are you looking forward to ahead?
I'll go ahead and go. I was going to let our guest go first, but I'll go ahead and go.
Okay.
I'm finding out for me what's important and what's not important. I had some things in my life that I was doing that wasn't fruitful, that wasn't giving me any type of return on investment. And now, since I have time to reflect and assess, I understand now what's priority. And then also too, during this time, I've been able to get a lot of things complete. So the basic thing is I really know what's important now. And then the things that aren't important, I'm gonna let it go. There were things I was holding on to. I don't need it. Now I see, since I have the time to think about it, I really know now that I don't need it. And so we have to get to that point now, since we have a lot of time to reflect, and we have been so busy, once we come out of this, they say come in, March comes in like a lamb and goes out like a lion. We all should come out like lions. We should come out better after this, and not bitter. We should come out better. So I know I'm excited that I'm going to come out better because now I have an opportunity to look at me, get rid of the bad habits. And then, once everything is over, I will have established good habits and we'll continue those on.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Roz. All right, so next, let's go to Marae, and then Mariska will come to you.
I guess like we all said, we have time now to reflect on who we are and what we want, and maybe reassess our mission and our what we really want to accomplish, and understand that we have to stay focused, because anything can happen, and not get disturbed by all the little things that are not important at all, and really stay focused on what we want to do, and focus on what's positive, because that's the most important thing. And I see myself right now, like those caterpillar, and then they become they actually transform themselves and then start to fly. So that's really what I see, is
Yeah.
that I'm kind of getting rid of all the heavy stuff, and like we said, decluttering everything, and then I'm going to feel so light that I'm ready now to fly and to go to another level. So
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah, so that's really what
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
That's
And like Rose was saying, get out of there really better and more confident, and really focus on the most important thing.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Mm.
Mariska, as you come and you share your thoughts on, sort of what are your reflections? What are you taking away from this period of pause? What's on the other side? And also share, because you have a free gift out there. So we also like
Yeah.
to share what that is. And, folks can get that by going to Facebook and go into the Coffee with Rhonda tribe, which is where we put any gifts that our guests leave behind. So, Mariska?
Yeah. What I really will take out of this is that um, maybe in my case, I've opened up my house too much. When I say that, it's both physical, it's for my mission, for my job, for my family. There are different parts of my life that I've opened up so much that there's maybe some rubbish as well that I accepted. So, as Ray and
Mm.
Rose were saying, I need to declutter. And this is the time where I am decluttering everything, relationships with my family, friends. What do I need to do with my job? What is my mission? Reaffirming things, reaffirming my voice, the voice that God gave me to speak to women in times of transitions like this, in times of where you need to manage change. So my home, my house, my privacy, my intimacy, I need to build it further so that it's the basis where I will level up from. And this basis has to be sound. It has to be healthy. So I have to declutter, declutter. It can be changing attitude, changing thoughts. By the way, my company is called Metanoia Coaching. Meta, because of transformation, and Noia, it's new
Mm.
perspective, new thinking. And this is what um, um, I'm trying to exercise, my thinking for to go to a different level, to a higher level. And as Russ said, I want to come better. I want to come on fire, a new fire to share my thoughts, to share my message to the world, and impact women in a way that they will realize that they themselves can impact other women and they can impact the world. So this is my message.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then the free gift. Tell us a little bit about the free gift that you shared.
Yeah, frigate. I would like to offer an opportunity to a woman to, yeah, discuss with me about all this transitioning period. How does she feel? Uh, what are her thoughts? And really to help her process. What I really discover here in this time of crisis is that sometimes I felt that I'm a coach, so I have to be strong. No, we have to process everything emotionally. If it's hard, if I'm not able to speak, I need to have an honest conversation with me and see what's going on in me. Why is it that I don't have I have difficulty facing it? So I want to have this conversation with the woman who's lost or who's scared or who's full of anxiety, and tell her that it's normal to go to joy, to go to stability. It's a process. Process from where you are. process from anxiety. Start from anxiety. Start from your fear. Start from where you are, and then we can go further. So then it's a 45 minutes coaching session, and I would be so glad to help a woman.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And if you go onto Facebook at Coffee with Rhonda Tribe and join the group, then you'll be able to access that coupon there so that you could redeem that. So I think in terms of final thoughts for me, this moment that we're in right now, this period of pause has given me an opportunity to continue to refine my vision. Because sometimes I get so busy that I think I end up reacting to the circumstances around me instead of being very proactive and creating. You know, they say that you are the co-creator of your life and your world, that your external world is a reflection of your internal state. And so for me to continue to very intentionally cultivate my internal state so that that reflects in my external world. That is my mission. That is my charge. And for me, as we emerge through this, I want this period of pause to give me an opportunity to continue my impact, to continue elevating my reach, to continue helping people around the world shift. I don't want anyone out there to be stuck in their own life. This is your life. There is no reason for you to feel stuck or hindered. And if you do, let's help you get through that. That is my mission. That is my charge. I have an affinity for leaders, because in my own leadership life, I know that, I think I did okay. I think I did well and I did okay. But how much better would I have been if I had had really strong mentors and leaders guiding me along the way, coaching me along the way? And that is what I want to do for other leaders. So there's something really big I'm planning for leaders, and being able to give them the tools and resources to be better. So for me, that's what I see in this period. I love the awareness of what's happening around us, paying attention, choosing not to get on an emotional roller coaster and where we're up and down because we're scared, and then choosing to live in faith, knowing that we are going to come out of this on the other side changed, but we're going to be okay. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. So I've had a wonderful time talking with all of you. If you're watching this video on a replay, I want to invite you to go to coffeewithrhondashow.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are just babies in our YouTube phase, and we are looking forward to growing and doing big and amazing things. So we're looking forward to that. Go to Coffee with Rhonda Tribe on Facebook. It's a group if you want to get access to the free offer that Mariska shared. And then we want all of you out there to know that, if you are a coach or a thought leader and you want to be a guest, please reach out and let us know, and we'll show you how to do that. But out there, we want you to remember to stay positive, be intentional, express gratitude, and be sure to always, 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 both physically and metaphorically speaking, we want you to pay attention to what's in your cup. So until next time, we want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, ladies. Hold up your until next
See
time.
you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.